Breaking at the Supreme Court, the justices there have issued a decision on Tennessee's ban on sex reassignment medical care for minors. The Supreme Court upholding the Tennessee law that bans certain types of gender-affirming care.
And this has been one of the most watched cases of the entire term because there are many other states that also have some kind of limit or ban on trans treatment for minor children. So this has gotten a ton of attention, and essentially the court's ruling 6-3. There are concurrences and breaks here and there, but the majority opinion says this. They says this case carries with it the weight of fierce scientific and policy debates about the safety, efficacy, and propriety of medical treatments in the evolving field. They say there are a lot of different studies out there. They came up during arguments, some of them saying other countries have limited or backed off these treatments for minors, but they say that's not our place, our decision to make, but essentially says our role is not to judge the wisdom, fairness, or logic of the law, but just to ensure that it does not violate the equal protection guarantee of the 14th Amendment. They said this law survives that scrutiny. So essentially concluding that it does, we leave questions of policy to the people, their elected representatives, and the democratic process, essentially saying Tennessee has passed this law. We're not going to step in. We think that it passes the constitutional muster of the 14th Amendment. So Tennessee can continue under this law to ban specific treatments that are trans-related for minors. And the other states out there, 20 plus of them, who have these laws will also take great reassurance that the court is signing off on what they've done.
Right now, Shannon, Justice Sotomayor is reading the dissent. And part of what she wrote is that this court now authorizes untold harm to transgender children and the parents and families who love them, end quote. How big of a setback is this for the transgender movement?
Well, it is in these states where there's a dividing line in this country about states who think that this is good policy for minors to have these treatments available, and others like Tennessee who think it doesn't. And Tennessee had argued that they had a state interest, a compelling government interest in making sure that these treatments did not proceed for young people. But it is one of those things that feels like it's making the country more red and more blue in concentrated ways, because there will be people who may decide where they live based on these laws and these decisions. She does talk about this in her dissent. She says the court's willingness here to strike down this law and get into the health care bans does damage, she says, irrevocable damage to the Equal Protection Clause, and invites legislatures to engage in discrimination by hiding blatant sex classifications in plain sight. Again, as you said, she said, without second thought, you're increasing untold harm to transgender children, their parents, and their families. She says there's no constitutional justification for this, so I dissent. So a split there, a big decision. We didn't think we might get it until next week. There are a few more percolating out there, but this is one we've been watching.